Hi, I'm Steele. Today we're talking about the 5 rules of celebrity images.
Fame used to be a destination. Now it's a skill set. And here's the twist. You don't need to be famous to use it. Because what celebrities are actually fluent in isn't attention. It's image. And image is just another word for perception. And perception, like it or not, is something we all participate in. Think of celebrities as case studies. They spend their entire lives managing the space between who they are, who they appear to be, and who the world prefers them to be. Civilians do this too, just with different stakes and a significantly smaller glam squad. If you've ever curated a first date outfit, drafted a text 3 times before sending it, only difference is degree, not category. VV's rule: image isn't artifice. Image is editing. Editing is not the same as pretending. Editing is deciding what matters and what doesn't. Editing is choosing which chapter gets published and which gets filed under not for public consumption. Celebrities do this instinctively. Civilians do it anxiously. And the first thing celebrities understand, truly understand, is that identity is constructed, even when it's honest. No one wakes up with a persona fully formed. Not Zendaya, not Rihanna, not the Kardashians, not Taylor with her eras. Persona is architecture, drafted, built, revised, which means the question is not who am I, but rather, what story am I telling with the tools I have? Before you panic, this isn't about becoming someone else. It's about not leaving the interpretation of you entirely to chance. Celebrities control the narrative by naming their eras: reputation era, quiet luxury era, new relationship era, career pivot era, motherhood era, comeback era, strategic silence era. The point of naming is not drama, it's frame. Frames make transitions legible. They help the audience keep up. And audiences, even in civilian life, dislike ambiguity. Pro tip: if you don't frame your transitions, people will invent their own explanations. They will not be flattering. One of the great misconceptions about celebrities is that they're naturally charismatic. Some are, most are not. What they are is edited. Celebrity charisma is not spontaneity. It's a disciplined relationship with the delete button. Taylor doesn't answer every question. Zendaya doesn't dress for every room. She dresses for the room that will photograph her. Rihanna doesn't over-explain. She lets the fit, the expression, and the timing perform the speech. VV's rule: most people lose power because they marry what could have been left implied. A well-placed silence is a strategy. A well-timed reveal is an asset. A withheld explanation is respect, for yourself and for your audience. Which brings us to one of the greatest celebrity skills: pacing. Fame is a long game. Relevance is a rhythm. Attention has a metabolism. Celebrities who burn too hot too fast become cautionary tales. Celebrities who throttle their output become icons. Pacing isn't withholding for mystique, it's withholding for longevity. And civilians need this skill more than ever. Because in a culture where everything is posted, shared, screenshotted, forwarded, and stored, pacing is the only privacy left. Pro tip: don't post in real time. Not your travels, not your milestones, not your heartbreaks. Delay isn't secrecy. Delay is editing. And now let's discuss the celebrity invention that migrated fully into civilian life: the launch. Celebrities launch albums, films, fragrances, relationships, babies, endorsements, apologies, eras, strategically, civilians. Eras, strategically, civilians now launch jobs, friendships, vacations, therapy breakthroughs, and boyfriends. The essence of a launch is alignment. Is the story you're telling consistent with the identity you're building? If you're in a new career era, the visuals, tone, and pacing should reflect that. If you're in a personal transformation era, choose a symbol, haircut, wardrobe shift, new routine, and let that be the announcement. If you're in a heartbreak era, do not attempt a soft launch into a new relationship before you've even finished editing the last one. VV's rule: a launch without an arc is noise. A launch with an arc is narrative. Next, celebrities never debut a concept without a visual vocabulary for it. This is why Zendaya's fashion isn't mere styling, it's storytelling. Her clothes do the exposition, the interviews do the clarification, and the silence does the mystery. Civilians underestimate how often aesthetics do the heavy lifting. Outfit, room, car, desk, hair, caption, tone, these are all cues. They're not superficial, they are interfaces. They tell the world how to read you. Here's where it gets interesting. Your visuals teach people how to treat you faster than your explanations ever will. Pro tip, you don't need to be stunning, you just need to be consistent. Consistency communicates intention. Intention communicates confidence. Confidence communicates identity. A wardrobe is not clothing, it's continuity. A home is not furniture, it's perspective. A caption is not text, it's context. And now we reach one of the most elegant celebrity tactics, the era break. Celebrities rarely evolve gradually, they pivot abruptly. New hair, new role, new relationship, new aesthetic. Abruptness is not chaos. Abruptness is punctuation. Civilian equivalent? The haircut after the breakup, the wardrobe change after the promotion, the new routine after moving cities. These are not vanity choices, these are identity cues. VV's rule: every era needs an exit and an entrance. Fail to exit and you linger. Fail to enter and you drift. Drifting is where identity loses its sharpness. Which brings us to a less glamorous but deeply relevant topic: apology logic. Celebrities are professional apologizers. Not because they're bad people, because public life is friction. The celebrity apology is structured, edited, brief, and intentional. No defensiveness, no over-explaining, no self-flagellation, just acknowledgement, context, and forward motion. Civilian apologies tend to be autobiographies of suffering. By the time the explanation ends, the goodwill has evaporated. Pro tip: an apology is not a memoir, it's a reset. Next, the power of association. Celebrities understand that identity is contagion. Sit next to the right person at the Met Gala and you inherit half their cultural capital. Collaborate with the right designer and your image upgrades in a night. Attend the wrong event and you undo 6 months of work. Civilians underestimate how often association does the talking. Friends, colleagues, environments, events, even restaurants, all are signaling devices. VV's rule: when in doubt, choose associations that raise your average knots. Now, let's talk reinvention, the holy grail of image architecture. The celebrity reinvention is never accidental. It is timed, coherent, and accompanied by a narrative bridge. Here's what I used to be, here's what changed, and here's who I am now. Reinvention without narrative reads as crisis. Reinvention with narrative reads as evolution. Civilian life is full of reinventions. New job, new relationship, parenting, sobriety, illness, healing, moving, aging. These are not merely events, they are identity moments. Treat them with structure and dignity. Pro tip: don't reinvent silently. Reinvent deliberately. Silence is for mystery. Narrative is for transformation. Know when to choose each. And lastly, the most underrated celebrity skill: audience selection. Celebrities know that you cannot be interpreted accurately by everyone. So they choose their audience. Some choose critics, some choose fans, some choose fashion, some choose the internet, some choose no one. The civilian mistake is trying to be legible to everyone in your orbit. Colleagues, family, friends, strangers, social media, all with different expectations and tastes. VV's rule: choose the audience that gets the best version of you, not the one that shouts the loudest. Because here's the final truth: image architecture is not fakery. It's literacy. It's the ability to articulate who you are becoming before the world mislabels you by default. Influence is not fame. Influence is clarity. Clarity is power. And power, the subtle kind, the elegant kind, the kind that doesn't need to announce itself, is simply understanding the difference between being seen and being interpreted.
Brought to you by Inception Point AI. Subscribe, like, and comment for more.